New year, same camera bag, but we got new gear inside the camera bag, so let's talk about it. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna be talking about everything inside my camera bag in the year 2026. So I'm gonna be pulling everything out of my camera bag and walking you through exactly what I carry with me on every single shoot. And whether you're new to photography, whether you're new to being a content creator, you're looking for a better bag, or even just some gear upgrades, hopefully this video helps you. So let's get right into it. All right, so first things first, obviously the camera bag. This is the PGYTech 1Go Lite, and this is the 22-liter version. I believe the other one is 18 liters. And of course I had to get in this beautiful forest green color. This might be one of my favorite non-camera gear items that I actually own. And of course it's even better because PGYTech actually sent this to me and did a brand deal with me way back when. I love it so much, I'm still using it to this day. You're gonna see through this video that I actually own a few other items from PGYTech, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about it in all my previous videos. One of my favorite things though is that this bag is weather resistant, and I do live down here in Florida, but when it rains in Florida, it rains. So the main camera compartment is actually fully customizable with these padded dividers, so I can actually configure exactly how I want with whatever I'm carrying for the day. It's got a magnetic compartment here that holds a 16-inch laptop. You also get a zipper compartment here on the top. You get a side component right here, which you can fit tripods or even water bottles in. I've said this before in all my other videos, and I'm gonna keep saying it every time I talk about this bag. I love the build quality. From the braided straps, having a luggage strap. If you weren't a photographer and weren't familiar with this brand and you just seen this bag out in public, you wouldn't even know that it's a camera bag. All right, so we're not here for the bag. We're here for what's inside the bag. So let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna start with the main event, the item that allows me to do all of this and what has gotten me into being a photographer or content creator, the Sony a7 IV. This is my primary camera body and it has been for a few years now. It's a full frame camera, 33 megapixels. It's got insane dynamic range. And of course, we all know the autofocus is some of the best in the industry. So whether I'm shooting stills or filming video, this thing handles everything I throw at it. I'm not gonna dive too deep onto the body specs today because I feel like that obviously deserves its own video, especially with the Sony a7 IV come out. So maybe I'll do a comparison, kind of see where the a7 IV stacks up to the brand new a7 V. But 90% of all the content you see, either on YouTube, on my TikTok or Instagram, pretty much anywhere else, it's all shot on my Sony a7 IV. All right, so before we get into the next item in my camera bag, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by Ulanzi, and this is a company that I've actually been working with for quite a while now, and I absolutely love pretty much all of their products. Now, full disclosure, I only partner with brands that I will actually use on a day-to-day basis. So anyways, this is a Ulanzi D100H dial, and to be honest, that's exactly what this is. It's just a dial. So instead of scrubbing through footage or nudging a color grade with a mouse like some kind of caveman, I just turned this dial, which is so much smoother and way more precise, and it makes me feel like I know actually what I'm doing, which is half the battle. There's also 7 shortcut buttons around this dial, and I actually mapped mine to the stuff that I use on a day-to-day basis, like cutting clips, jumping to markers, switching tools. This dial sits on my desk with no extra cables running across the desk, which is huge, so it's completely Bluetooth. It's also very small, which size does matter, because I already have so much clutter on my desk as it is. And the cool thing about this is it's not locked to just one program, meaning that I don't have to only use this in Lightroom. You can use it in pretty much any other editing app. So to wrap all of this up, if you edit a lot, this dial will save you a lot of pointless clicking, make you feel like you actually know what you're doing as an editor or content creator, and it's so small and compact you won't even know it's sitting on your desk. So if you are interested in getting a dial like this for your content, I will go ahead and leave the link down below in the description. And now let's get back to the YouTube video. All right, so within this camera bag, I end up carrying 3 lenses with me every shoot I go to, and each one has a specific purpose why. First one up is my Tamron 28 to 75mm G2 lens. This has an aperture of 2.8, and this was actually my very first lens that I bought aside from the kit lens when I got my Sony a7 IV. And if I'm being completely honest with you, this is still my favorite lens of all the other glass that I've shot on. This is my main workhorse when I'm shooting architects, cityscapes, street. Being able to go from 28 all the way up to 75 really allows you to capture pretty much anything in sight. And if you're a photographer or videographer, we know that the 2.8 is a sweet spot for having a nice aperture. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some shots up on the screen here. These are some of my favorite shots I've taken with this lens, and you can see why I keep coming back to it despite everything that goes wrong with it. Like I said, this is the G2 version, which is the newest version of the 28 to 75 from Tamron. So on the G2, you're gonna get that constant 2.8, like I said, throughout the entire zoom range. The VXD linear motor autofocus, which is very fast and quiet, and it's weather sealed. This is my #1 lens. The next piece of glass that I carry inside this camera bag with me all the time is my Sigma 16-28 f2.8. Now this is my most recent pickup. I rarely use this for photography, but on almost every single film day, like this video that I'm filming right now, it's the first lens that I grab because of the wide 16 millimeters. I personally think that the 16mm focal length is the best sweet spot for any type of vlogging or talking head content. And the main reason I got this is for all of my real estate photography, because getting those tight angles or even the bathrooms, 16mm is definitely the sweet spot for that too. So when I'm shooting any of my short form content, TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, this lens just makes it feel cinematic and immersive. So some key features about this lens, it's the 16-28 like we talked about, the constant 2.8 all the way through. It's part of Sigma's contemporary lineup, and honestly Sigma as a brand is just something else. And every time I pick up this lens, it just feels solid and built up quality. The focus ring is smooth, the glass is sharp corner to corner. Alright, so this little guy right here, last but not least, is my Sony Nifty 50. This is a 50mm f1.8, and honestly this lens is really only used for portraits. The very low 1.8 aperture gives you that beautiful background separation and bokeh that just makes portraits pop, which is what all customers love seeing. I've actually used this for some client work, I've used it for a few lifestyle shots, and I've also used it for street photography. And honestly, it's delivered through and through for each of those. I'm not gonna dive too deep onto this lens because I have made a dedicated YouTube video, which I will go ahead and throw up here. So if you're actually interested in this lens and wanna know more about it, go ahead and check out the card here, or I'll go ahead and leave the link down below in the description. The next item I keep in my bag that goes with my Sony a7 IV is my microphone. A lot of people overlook this microphone, especially when they're trying to build a camera rig. I honestly think it's one of the best mics you could have for a rig like this. This is a Sony ECM B10 shotgun microphone, and honestly, it's one of my favorite audio devices that I actually own. I actually use this mic a lot more than I use my DJI Mic 2s, again, mainly because I shoot majority of my content on the a7 IV. It mounts directly to the hot shoe on my a7 IV and connects digitally, so I got no cables, no adapters, it's literally just plug and play. And obviously it's a Sony mic, so the audio quality is a massive upgrade from the built-in camera mic, and for run and gun shooting when you don't have to actually deal with a wireless lav setup, I would recommend a shotgun mic like this through and through. Now, I'm not a huge audio guy, so I don't really want to dive too deep into the specs on this, but a few of the audio settings you should know about is it does have 3 switchable directivities, meaning you can actually toggle it in 3 different directions. You can have audio only picked up right in front of the mic, to the side in front of the mic, or all around the mic. So when I'm doing a talking head like this, I don't want to pick up any background noise. So you might hear my dishwasher, my laundry room, anything like that. So I toggle it to where it's only going to hear what's in front of the mic. That way it mutes out everything else. Now, if I'm vlogging and I want to hear me and the background, what's going on outside, I will go ahead and flip the toggle. That way you get everything around picked up. I set those 2 settings and I haven't touched any of the other settings since I bought the mic. And like I said, since I'm not a big audio guy, I just want to set something and be done with it. So the last item that I carry that fits into the camera dividers is my DJI Mini 3 drone. And I've had this for a few years now, but I still bring it with me on every single shoot just in case. I'm gonna be fully upfront with you guys. This is definitely a beginner to entry level drone. It's not like the Mini 4 Pro or the brand new Mini 5 Pro. It's just the flat Mini 3. And honestly, I do wish I pulled this out more. I just don't for whatever reason. One of the main reasons that I did buy this drone though was for real estate photography. Because if you know anything about real estate photography, aerial shots are one of the biggest values in the game. And of course, it's a service that I want to offer on top of just regular photography. And if you don't know anything about drones, you can't actually sell your services unless you get the proper certification called the Part 107 from the FAA. So that's currently what I'm starting to study for. That way, if I do get any type of client work with the drone, I can actually sell my services and make money off of it. So if you have your Part 107, if you got any tips, please let me know down in the comments because I am freaking out because everything I read online has definitely gotten me nervous, especially since I'm not a good test taker. So for the price point on this drone, it's actually pretty impressive for image and video quality. You can shoot 4K video, you get 12 megapixel stills, and it's DJI, so you get that clean color science. So if you're looking to get into drones or if you're looking for drone photography, anything like that, without spending an arm and a leg, especially on these new devices that you can't even get into the States yet, the Mini 3 is still a great option. All right, let's get back to the bag and get inside the top compartment. Within this compartment, I actually only keep 2 bags in here. First one being this ND filter case from PGY Tech. I told you, I love PGY Tech. PGY Tech, thank you so much for sending this out to me as well. But inside, you can just store all of your ND filters. There's really nothing special to it. I just hated throwing them in my bag because I'm spending money on ND filters and I don't want to get them scratched because then obviously it shows in all of my footage. And some of these bags that I've seen on like Amazon just don't look of quality. So I actually carry 4 ND filters inside this bag. The main one that I use is this 1/4 filter from Short Stash. They call this their everyday filter, which is basically a Pro Mist mixed with a CPL filter. So the Pro Mist is actually a filter that softens highlights, adds a subtle glow to the light sources, and gives your footage that very nice cinematic film straight out of the camera. And of course, since I shoot majority of my content in S-Log, getting some cinematic help from this filter just helps me on color grading. Florida's most popular ND filter is this variable ND filter. And this is from K&F Concept. And of course, since we all know Florida is the sunshine state, this is what I'm using most of the time I go outside when it's completely sunny without a cloud in the sky. Being that it's variable, will allow me to control how much light hits the sensor on my camera without changing my aperture or my ISO. That way it helps me keep that shallow depth of field even when I'm looking in the harsh sunlight. And then the next two that I have, I think I bought these in a kit. I don't think I've ever used them, but I got a CPL and a UV filter. And they're honestly there just in case, I need them for whatever reason. But because of that short stash 1/4 mist filter that I have, I don't know if I'll ever even use these. It's better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. And then, of course, I keep a crap load of microfibers in here. So then the second bag in this top compartment is my utility and cleaning bag. And if you haven't guessed, this is also from PGY Tech. Again, thank you for sending this to me. And like I said, it's just really my cleaning bag. So I keep lens spray, keep my little brush here, got my air duster. And this isn't really made to be a cleaning bag. It's just really what works for me because it's got all these other compartments in it for batteries, for headphones, but I just put an air duster in it and zip it up. But you can actually store your SD cards here, a card of some sort like a debit card or a credit card here. You actually get 4 elastic slots here for cables. So like I said, I just kind of turn this into my bring with me cleaning kit whenever I need it. And to be honest, I really think PGY Tech should just sponsor me at this point because I own so much of their gear already. So to finish up talking about this bag, it's actually pretty deep inside this top compartment, which you could actually throw like clothes and stuff in there. And it's got 2 additional pockets inside here, which I will actually carry a couple charging blocks and my business cards and some mints, I guess. So that's pretty much everything inside my camera bag in the year 2026. I've gone through so many different items inside this bag to kind of figure out what works best for me. So every item that you guys have seen has earned its spot and actually gets used on a day-to-day basis on pretty much every type of shoot. Of course, if you're interested in any of these items that we talked about in this video, they will be linked down in the description. Make sure you guys drop a like if you found this video helpful. And you gotta let me know down in the comments, what's one piece of gear that you never leave home without? I'm always generally curious on hearing what you guys are carrying because it might actually be something that I don't know about or I actually wanna add to my lineup as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're new. I've been trying to post every single Saturday. Make sure you guys follow me on all my social medias. We'll catch y'all in the next video.